Greetings, Timeless Sagas family. Today, we embark on a journey through time to unravel the fascinating history of Washington, D.C., the capital of the United States. From its inception to its modern-day significance, this capital city has been at the heart of American politics, culture, and society. So sit back, relax, and let's dive into the story of a city that has been the epicenter of power for more than 200 years. It all began in the late 18th century. The United States was a young nation, fresh from its victory in the Revolutionary War. It was time to establish a new capital, a city that would embody the values of the fledgling republic and serve as a symbol of unity. In 1790, the Residence Act was passed, calling for the creation of a new capital along the Potomac River. The location was a strategic choice, as it sat right between the northern and southern states, thus representing a balance of power. The task of designing this new city fell upon the shoulders of a Frenchman named Pierre-Charles L'Enfant. L'Enfant was a man with a vision. He foresaw a grand city, with wide avenues, public squares, and monumental buildings. His plan was heavily inspired by the European cities he admired, such as Paris and Rome. But L'Enfant wasn't just a dreamer, he was a practical man with a knack for urban planning. He designed the city on a grid, with numbered streets running north-south and lettered streets running east-west. This was overlaid with diagonal avenues, creating a distinctive pattern that still defines the city's layout today. But as we know, historical endeavors are rarely smooth sailing. L'Enfant soon found himself embroiled in conflicts with landowners and local politicians. Ultimately, he was dismissed from the project, and his plans were modified by others. Nevertheless, his vision for a grand capital city lived on. The cornerstone of the city's most iconic building, the United States Capitol, was laid by none other than George Washington himself in 1793. The Capitol, which houses the legislative branch of the U.S. government, was designed by William Thornton, a physician and amateur architect. Over the years, it has been expanded and renovated, but it remains a shining symbol of American democracy. Right, so we've got the Capitol. But what's a capital city without a home for its chief executive? Enter the White House, the official residence of the President of the United States. Designed by Irish architect James Hoban, the White House has been the home of every U.S. president since John Adams in 1800. It is a symbol of American leadership and stability, despite having been burned by British forces during the War of 1812. But fear not, dear viewers. The resilient White House was rebuilt and has since been expanded and renovated to meet the needs of its distinguished occupants. Let's fast forward a bit. The 19th century was a tumultuous time for Washington, D.C., as it was for the rest of the nation. The city saw the construction of some of its most famous monuments, such as the Washington Monument, the Lincoln Memorial, and the Jefferson Memorial. Each of these iconic structures tells a story of the leaders they honor and the values they represent. But Washington, D.C. is more than just a collection of monuments and political buildings. It's a living, breathing city, home to a diverse population who have left their mark on its culture and history. Throughout the 19th and 20th centuries, the city saw waves of Irish, German, Italian, and Eastern European immigrants, as well as a significant African American population. These communities brought their unique traditions and customs, adding to the rich tapestry of the city's cultural fabric. The African American community, in particular, has played a significant role in shaping the identity of Washington, D.C. By the early 20th century, the city was home to a thriving black middle class, which had a profound impact on the arts, music, and literature of the time. The Harlem Renaissance may have been the epicenter of African American culture during the 1920s and 1930s, but Washington, D.C. was a close second, fostering talents such as Duke Ellington and Langston Hughes. Washington, D.C.'s role in the civil rights movement cannot be overstated. The city was the stage for some of the most pivotal moments in the struggle for racial equality, such as the 1963 March on Washington, where Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. delivered his famous I Have a Dream speech. These events left an indelible mark on the city and the nation as a whole, pushing America towards a more inclusive and just society. As the 20th century progressed, Washington, D.C.'s skyline continued to evolve, with the construction of new museums, memorials, and government buildings. The city became a symbol of America's growing global influence, as well as its commitment to preserving its own history and culture. But what about the people who call Washington, D.C. home? Like any other city, the nation's capital has its fair share of triumphs and challenges. The city has grappled with issues such as poverty, crime, and political corruption. But it has also been a hotbed of activism, innovation, and artistic expression. Washington, D.C. is a city of contrasts, where the halls of power coexist with vibrant neighborhoods and a rich cultural scene. So, there you have it, folks. A whirlwind tour of the history of Washington, D.C., from its origins as a symbol of unity to its modern-day role as the center of American politics and culture. This city has seen it all: the birth of a nation, the struggle for civil rights, and the ongoing pursuit of the American dream. It's a timeless saga, and one that continues to unfold before our very eyes. Thank you for joining me on this journey through time, and be sure to subscribe to Timeless Sagas for more captivating stories from the annals of history. Until next time, keep exploring, and remember, the past is never truly gone, it lives on in the stories we tell.